Hey everybody, Patrick with Slightly Buzzed Bee Works. We're at the Slightly Buzzed workshop, also known currently as my kitchen. And we just got our order from Man Lake, and we're going to go ahead and give this a shot. What I've got here is I've got my 5-gallon bucket, I've got my honey gate, which came unassembled. I had just assembled it. And inside here we have a little insert of, I believe it's a 400 micron. It's definitely a medium filter according to their website. So I put that in the bucket here. And I've also got 8-ounce honey jars, 1-pound honey jars, and some honey that I've recovered from the Shoat family farm. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and pour that in here and see how this turns out. I do have a couple things, as you can see here, floating on top. What you see right about here is just all that original sticker. I think it's actually on here. Yeah, this sticker is actually what you see right here on the glass. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is, let's see if we can pour this in here. Now I know I have plenty of room in here for this jar, but I don't know about the next jar. And we're going to let this drain in here. This could take a little while between the two jars. I mean, hour, 2 hours, I don't know, maybe more. But I'm going to go ahead and filter this honey. This is just a straight up physical filter. There's no heat involved with this. It's room temperature. And I did wash all these parts and sanitize them down. So once I get this one emptied, I'm going to go ahead and pour the next one in there. And I'll see you guys once this is done filtering, but it's just going to go fall through this filter. I did wet the 400 micron filter because I've heard that helps the honey filter through a little easier. Just dampen it down a little bit, and let's see what happens here. I'll get back to you as soon as I'm done filtering this honey. Alrighty guys, this is actually going a lot faster than I had anticipated. Hopefully we'll be done here within an hour or so. I don't think it'll take that long, but I think the most of what we're waiting for is for things to drain here. And I've just taken 2 strips from the frames. These are the frames that hold the wax foundation in place, and I rinsed them off real quick because they're in my garage where I'm doing some dusty work. Rinsed them off, dried them up with a towel real quick, and I used them as support. I'm going to see if I can put the other jar here, or maybe make another one real quick and get this jar to kind of hang out as we filter through here. But we're doing pretty good. This was probably about a 4-pound jar, and this was a full gallon, so you can see we're already trucking along here. So give me a couple more minutes, and maybe 20-30 minutes, and I'll be right back, guys. All right, so we're back, and it took a little time, but we were able to get these 1-gallon jars emptied. They're no longer dripping, but you can see this filter actually did catch quite a bit, so that's really nice. I'm hoping that we have a lot better look to our honey and some clarity in it. And then I've got the jars all washed and ready to go. And I'm going to put that bucket on top of the microwave to give me some room so I can put the jars on the scale. I'm going to tear to the 1-pound jar first and measure in a pound of honey into the jar. And then once I'm done with the 1-pound jars, I'm going to switch over to the 8-ounce and do the same thing. And I'm going to go ahead and rinse these jars out and rinse off the stick so I don't get honey everywhere in my kitchen. But the idea is basically just to put this underneath, like so. Have that turned on and tared. Bam, so it says it's nothing. And pour in 16 ounces of honey straight from the honey gate on top of the microwave. So give me just a moment here, and I'm going to go ahead and move everything over, and we're going to see if I can do this one-handed. All right, let's go ahead and tear out. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and release this a little bit. Okay, 1 more ounce. All right, and that's 1 pound. We'll take our next jar. And repeat. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go through all my jars here, get this honey bottled, and we'll go on to the next step. And we are back, guys, and we have 15 pounds of honey from our Pittsboro apiary from 2019. Again, this was all salvaged from frames that I was culling wax from, and decided to extract the honey out of the good frames, and this is what we had left. So we've got the 12 1-pounders in the back, and we've got the 6 8-ounce or half-pound jars in the front. I also have about 8 ounces in this jar right here. This jar that looks much lighter is actually from a Raleigh apiary from last year. I did collect a little bit of honey from that one. Not quite sure which plant is making our honey from Pittsboro so dark this year. Not complaining about it, but I do want to find out. So I always keep a little bit of a sample of each batch that I bottle, so that I can go ahead and put it under a microscope and find out things like what type of pollen is it, or how much pollen's in there, stuff like that. And hopefully, if I get to that point, I will be sharing results that I find if anything's really interesting. As far as the equipment's concerned, the equipment went really well. The filter is a 400 micron filter. It is their medium filter, and you definitely want to have it dampened. Actually, kind of like it is right now. You don't want it dripping with water, but you do want the screen dampened a little bit. Helps the honey go through a little bit faster. Most of the time that I was waiting in between the videos was waiting for the glass jars to go ahead and drain the honey out of them. It did do a good job on collecting a bunch of little particulates in the honey from the just the regular metal strainer, this guy right here. So it did a lot better job than this, obviously. The bucket did what a bucket's supposed to do. It held the honey. Not much to say there. It did come with a lid, by the way, just in case anybody's curious. So you can actually go from extractor into this filter and into the bucket, take off the filter, seal the bucket, bottle later if you wanted to. The honey gate was pretty good. I was fairly satisfied with it. I did find that control of the honey flow from the bucket was relatively simple with this honey gate. However, I also noticed that I got a little bit of honey on the back wall here behind the door itself and right here at this joint. Other than that, I probably only lost a couple, droplets, of honey. I probably lost more honey by tilting the bucket and missing the jar more than anything else. But other than that, the bottling one went really smoothly. And tell you what, tell me what you guys like to do with your honey. Do you guys like to put it in tea? Do you guys like to put it in toast? Do you bake with it? What do you bake? Let me know in the comments below, and let's find out what we should be doing with our honey. Thanks for watching this video from Slightly Buzzed Bee Works. If you have any questions, comments, or would like to see something specific, let us know below. If you liked the video, click on the thumbs up and subscribe to follow us in our beekeeping journey. If you didn't like it, go ahead and give us a thumbs down, but be sure to tell us why.